Hi, I'm Ron Thompson from Palm Coast, Florida, and I want to thank you for taking the time to determine for yourself whether or not our homeowner relief program can drastically improve your financial life. I believe it can, and at the end of the next few minutes, I believe you'll agree. First, we're going to discuss the perfect bailout, and you're going to be the judge. This is not a loan, it's not a refinance, it's not a short sale, and it's not a foreclosure. There are no credit, employment, asset, or income qualifications required from you whatsoever. We're going to discuss ways to cut hundreds or even thousands off your monthly mortgage payment, and I can almost assure you, you've never seen anything like this before. There are over 60 million loans that may be affected. First of all, I want to mention that we are not a law firm and we do not provide any legal advice. We are an organization that helps educate and inform those looking for help and direction with their home loan situation. We put people in touch with qualified legal professionals that can assist with preparing and filing action against lenders. By now, you've probably discovered the dirty little secret that the banks hoped you would never find out about. The banks got caught, and they got caught in the biggest illegal bank fraud and bank forgery scheme in history. Due to the massive fraud and forgery committed by the banking industry, a recent state Supreme Court ruling against the banks are allowing homeowners, just like you, to legally force the banks to cancel tens of thousands in principal and interest on their existing mortgages. As I mentioned, there are over 60 million mortgages that may qualify. The problem is the homeowner doesn't know anything about it. This has nothing to do with refinancing, nothing to do with foreclosure, and nothing to do with short sales. However, it is up to you to do something. You as the homeowner must know what to do, and I can assure you, your mortgage company is not about to tell you. Don't worry, be happy. This is where we come in. We do all the work for you. You know, the banks have had their fun in the past, and now it's your turn. Don't even think about throwing money away for a refinance, a foreclosure, or a short sale. There's a much, much better way. I'm going to give 3 case study examples, and in these following case study examples, we are going to be discussing these for illustration purposes only. The actual individual results will vary with each case, and your actual result could be more or less than what I'm about to illustrate. So please see the contract for all guarantees. In this first example, we have a $300,000 mortgage at a 6% interest rate. And I'm going to talk about interest only because it's easy to discuss and to illustrate. So in this example, that monthly mortgage payment is $1,500. However, in today's real estate market, the home is only worth $150,000. I'm certain that many of you can relate to this. After the principal reduction program, their principal was reduced by the bank from $300,000 down to $210,000, and the interest rate was reduced from 6% to 3%, thus reducing their monthly payment from $1,500 monthly all the way down to $525. This was a monthly savings immediately of $975. And over 12 months, that's $11,700 per year in savings. That was an immediate 30% principal reduction. The bank reduced that principal from $300,000 to $210,000, and that was an immediate $90,000 savings. Even though the principal was reduced, it's still higher than the market value today, but in their first year alone, they were able to save $101,700 and still live in the home. And each year thereafter, for the balance of the mortgage, they're able to pocket $11,700 that was normally going to the mortgage company, and they're still living in the home. In our second example, we have a $400,000 mortgage at 6%, in this case interest only. That monthly mortgage payment is $2,000 per month. However, in today's market, the home is only worth $250,000. After the principal reduction program, the bank reduced their mortgage from $400,000 down to $320,000, and they reduced the monthly or the interest rate from 6% down to 3.5%, which reduced the monthly payment from $2,000 each month all the way down to $933. That was an immediate $1,067 monthly savings, and over 12 months every year, that's $12,804 every single year that this homeowner is putting right back into their pocket. It was an immediate 20% principal reduction. They reduced that principal from $400,000 down to $320,000 for an $80,000 immediate savings. So once again, this homeowner is still living in their home, and that first year savings alone was $92,804, and the savings each year thereafter is $12,804 that they get to keep right in their pocket. Folks, this is the money that was normally going to the mortgage company. In my final example, we have a townhome on the water, or a condo on the water, with a $1.3 million mortgage. At a 6% interest rate, that interest-only loan is $6,500 per month. However, in today's market value, the condo is only worth $600,000. After the new principal reduction was received, that mortgage was dropped from $1.3 million to $780,000. The interest rate was reduced from 6% to 4.5%, and that monthly payment dropped from $6,500 each month to $2,925 each month. So the immediate monthly savings was $3,575. Can you imagine what you could do with an extra $3,575 every month? And over the course of every year, that's $42,900 every year in savings. They received an immediate 40% principal reduction from the bank, from $1.3 million to $780,000, and that was an immediate principal savings of $520,000. So as this homeowner is still living in their beautiful condo on the water, they saved in the very first year $562,900. And they're saving every single year thereafter $42,900. Now here I ask you, how much is this program worth to you to be able to save this kind of money each and every year? Well, I can't quote an exact fee because everyone's situation is different. This is not a one-size-fits-all like many other programs and companies would like you to believe. However, I can give you a range. The range is somewhere between zero, yes, that's right, zero, to maybe as much as $10,000. The fee depends on many factors. The first factor is, are you late on your mortgage? Are you in foreclosure or about to enter foreclosure? Have you already lost your home and you need to try to get it back? Are you in need of an attorney for legal work? Are you attempting to reduce your monthly payment only? Are you attempting to get your home free and clear? You'll note that there are many, many factors, and each person's goals are different. As I mentioned, the first year savings in the first example was $101,700, and their annual savings thereafter was $11,700 each and every year. In the second example, the first year savings was $92,804, and every year thereafter they saved $12,804. And in our third example, their first year savings was $562,900, and their savings each and every year thereafter was $42,900. As I mentioned before, this has nothing to do with you getting a refinance, a foreclosure, or a short sale. And there are no hoops for you to jump through. Most everyone with a mortgage is eligible to save tens of thousands of dollars without any type of income, credit, or other typical bank requirements. The question is, do you fall into any of these categories? In the first example, you'll notice that the average home across the country is about 33% underwater. In other words, people owe 33% more to the mortgage company than the home is worth. In many states, you'll notice it exceeds 50%. Also, are you in foreclosure or about to enter foreclosure, and do you have bad credit? None of these matter. Okay, here again, you can get relief. There are a number of options available to you, and none of this matters. There are just 3 easy steps. The first step is to set up a personal, no cost, no obligation consultation by phone. There's absolutely no cost and no obligation for you to do anything. The second step is, if we can help you, to simply enroll as a member. And the third step, once you're a member, we do all the work for you. Our mortgage plan seeks to redefine your family's outlook on home ownership by offering a variety of methods to expedite the process without you having to pay off a traditional 30-year mortgage. This may include non-litigation processes, principal reduction processes, litigation processes, and if you're in foreclosure or about to enter foreclosure, foreclosure delay processes, especially if you're in a non-judicial state. Early payoff is achieved through principal reduction and interest cancellation, And our mortgage paydown system is a clever banking maneuver. I can almost assure you, you've never seen anything like this before. Since our inception, the company has grown from just a few dedicated individuals to a nationwide business that employs thousands of knowledgeable associates and well-trained specialists in response to the demand for our financial services. We call this the no-brainer, no-excuse program, and you are in the right place at the right time. How could you save nearly $400,000 or more on your home? Well, once you become a member, we do all the work to challenge the validity of the note that the mortgage carrier says that they own. Understand that the lenders broke a lot of laws when they were processing these mortgages. The law states that for a note to be valid, it cannot be altered in any way. Yet the mortgage companies altered the notes when they were packaging them to sell to Wall Street. And once they did this, the notes were no longer valid. They broke the laws like these as well as many others. They weren't concerned about it because they were making so much money at the time. Now you can win the fight and get the mortgage company or a judge to have the mortgages greatly reduced or even forgiven completely because the note is no longer valid, and so the mortgage companies have no legal standing to foreclose on your property. How would you feel if you could get this work done for free? I know many of you are thinking, what? There's nothing available for free. Well, have you ever eaten at a restaurant and the meal was so good you just had to tell a friend? How much did that restaurant pay you when your friend went there to eat? Or have you ever told a friend about the last really good movie or book that you saw? If so, how much did the movie theater or the bookstore or the author or Hollywood pay you when your friend went to see the movie or read the book? Well, if you're like most people I talk with, the answer is a big nothing. Well, we're different. Not only will you win when you become one of our members, you can also win by telling your friends about us. Be sure to ask us on the phone consultation how you can get your program for free. If you'd like to register for a free, no-cost, no-obligation phone consultation to determine the amount of monthly savings you're eligible for, just simply complete the pre-qualification form below. You'll note that it's a very simple form, and to get your pre-qualification form, just go online to www.consultation.homeownerreliefprogram.info. That's consultation.homeownerreliefprogram.info, or feel free to call me at my toll-free number at 1-866-878-7820. And we look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you.